Text 2 Newsletter FDIC Consumer News. If at first you don't succeed. Common mistakes young adults make with money and how to avoid them. Everybody makes mistakes with their money. The important thing is to keep them to a minimum. And one of the best ways to accomplish that is to learn from the mistakes of others. Here is our list of the top mistakes young people, and even many not so young people, make with their money, and what you can do to avoid these mistakes in the first place. 1. Buying items you don't need and paying extra for them in interest. Every time you have an urge to do a little impulse buying and you use your credit card, but you don't pay in full by the due date, you could be paying interest on that purchase for months or years to come. Spending money for something you really don't need can be a big waste of your money. But you can make the matter worse, a lot worse, by putting the purchase on a credit card and paying monthly interest charges. Research major purchases and comparison shop before you buy. Ask yourself if you really need the item. Even better, wait a day or two, or just a few hours to think things over rather than making a quick and costly decision you may come to regret. There are good reasons to pay for major purchases with a credit card, such as extra protections if you have problems with the items. But if you charge a purchase with a credit card instead of paying by cash, check, or debit card, which automatically deducts the money from your bank account, be smart about how you repay. For example, take advantage of offers of 0% interest on credit card purchases for a certain number of months, but understand when and how interest charges could begin. And pay the entire balance on your credit card or as much as you can to avoid or minimize interest charges, which can add up significantly. If you pay only the minimum amount due on your credit card, you may end up paying more in interest charges than what the item costs you to begin with, said Janet Kincaid, FDIC Senior Consumer Affairs Officer. Example, if you pay only the minimum payment due on a $1,000 computer, let's say it's about $20 a month, your total cost at an annual percentage rate of more than 18% can be close to $3,000, and it will take you nearly 19 years to pay it off. Getting too deeply in debt. Being able to borrow allows us to buy clothes or computers, take a vacation, or purchase a home or a car. But taking on too much debt can be a problem, and each year millions of adults of all ages find themselves struggling to pay their loans, credit cards, and other bills. Learn to be a good money manager by following the basic strategies in this special report. Also recognize the warning signs of a serious debt problem. These may include borrowing money to make payments on loans you already have, deliberately paying bills late, and putting off doctor visits or other important activities because you think you don't have enough money. If you believe you're experiencing debt overload, take corrective measures. For example, try to pay off your highest interest rate loans, usually your credit cards, as soon as possible, even if you have higher balances on other loans. For new purchases, instead of using your credit card, try paying with cash, a check, or a debit card. There are also reliable credit counselors you can turn to for help at little or no cost, added Rita Wiles Ross, an FDIC attorney. Unfortunately, you also need to be aware that there are scams masquerading as credit card repair clinics and other companies such as debt consolidators that may charge big fees for unfulfilled promises or services you can perform on your own. For more guidance on how to get out of debt safely or find a reputable credit counselor, start at the Federal Trade Commission's FTC website. Paying bills later otherwise tarnishing your reputation. Companies called credit bureaus prepare credit reports for use by lenders, employers, insurance companies, landlords, and others who need to know someone's financial reliability, based largely on each person's track record paying bills and debts. Credit bureaus, lenders, and other companies also produce credit scores, that attempt to summarize and evaluate a person's credit record using a point system. While one or two late payments on your loans or other regular commitments, such as rent or phone bills, over a long period may not seriously damage your credit record, making a habit of it will count against you. Over time, you could be charged a higher interest on your credit card or a loan that you really want and need. You could be turned down for a job or an apartment. It could cost you extra when you apply for auto insurance. Your credit record will also be damaged by a bankruptcy filing or a court order to pay money as a result of a lawsuit. So, pay your monthly bills on time. Also, periodically, review your credit reports from the nation's 3 major credit bureaus, Equifax, Experian, or TransUnion, to make sure their information accurately reflects the accounts you have and your payment history, especially if you intend to apply for credit for something important in the near future. Search for FTC website for information about your rights to obtain free copies of your credit report and have errors corrected. Look at this chart on teens' payment preferences. The percentage